When it comes to isometrics, I wanted to give you guys like a quick start guide and 10 super simple isometric exercises that you could run through and just immediately start introducing into your own training. So, when we talk about overcoming isometrics, some really basic ones that you guys can run through are grabbing a med ball and doing adductor squeezes. So, you basically put the med ball between your knees and you send it as hard as you can and try to squeeze that mug as hard as possible. Then you can also do rear naked choke med ball squeezes where you get like a short choke or a full rear naked choke on a medicine ball and you squeeze that thing as hard as possible. A simple way to mix these two exercises into your workouts is to start with 3 sets of 5 seconds of ramp up, 5 seconds of holding at maximum intensity. Those are two very basic overcoming isometrics that you can simply mix into your workouts. For yielding isometrics, I'm a big fan of chest supported dumbbell rows, where you row the dumbbells up and you pull and hold a yielding isometric for 3 to 5 seconds at the top of each rep. And I also love to superset that with dumbbell bench press, where you put a yielding isometric at the bottom, holding for about 3 to 5 seconds. You can mix this in as a superset, or you can pick either one of those exercises to do. And I typically suggest starting with 4 to 6 sets of 4 to 6 reps. And again, really make sure that these isometric positions for yielding isometrics are really tough. You got to use some heavy ass weight. You got to challenge yourself to really hold those strong positions. For static overcome by dynamic isometric exercises, I'm a big fan of box squats and I'm a big fan of floor presses. You could use this for your max effort work, where say you do a Zercher box squat, working up to a 3 rep max. You sit down on the box, you don't bounce off the box, you sit down off the box, come to a complete stop, and then stand up strong out of that position. Same with the floor press. You bring the weight down, your elbows hit the floor. You don't bounce off the floor. You come to a complete stop on the floor, and then you press up strong. Those are two different static overcome by dynamic isometric exercises that you can mix into your workouts. Next would be extreme isos. Two extreme isos that I absolutely love doing are extreme isometric full range of motion Bulgarian split squats. So you're going to do a regular Bulgarian split squat, but you got to make sure that you have some plates or something to elevate your front leg. You're going to hit the bottom position and you're going to hold that position for 60 seconds. Really focus on contracting and holding a strong static position at the bottom of that Bulgarian split squat. You'll do 60 seconds on both sides for a total of 3 sets. Now, for the upper body, one of my favorite extreme isos is just a full range of motion push up. You can do this with gymnastic rings. You can do this by stacking up bumper plates, but you really just start in the bottom of that push-up position and hold strong for 60 seconds. And if you can press up out of that position, that's a bonus for you as well. 3 sets, 60 seconds, extreme isos, throw them in your workouts. Next is going to be ballistic isometrics or impulses. One of my favorite ways to train this is just by getting a strap, a really long strap, and if you can attach it to the bottom of a reverse hyper, doing a single arm wire raise where you're just snapping that band really hard against the pendulum of the reverse hyper. 3 sets of 50 seconds will get your shoulders and upper back feeling really juicy. Then for the lower body, you can do the same thing with the leg curl. I like to straddle a bench. That way I have one leg out in front, that's the leg curl leg, and one leg back behind me. Get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch in there as well. And what I do is I just attach my foot or my ankle to a lifting strap, or you can also set it up on the reverse hyper as well. And you just snap that thing as hard as you can. 3 sets of 50 reps. I guarantee your hamstring, your knees, and even your hips a little bit are going to be feeling so buttery. It's going to be amazing. So that is the best quick start guide that I can provide for you when it comes to isometrics for grappling athletes. Now, there are some mistakes that I caution you against, some mistakes that I've mentioned a little bit already, but I want to make sure you guys really don't fall in the same pitfalls as a lot of other grapplers out there. Biggest mistake that I see is just not bringing the right intent to the workout. You know, these isometrics are going to be tough. These isometrics are going to be challenging. So if you're doing an isometric where you're pausing at the bottom of a squat, it should be pretty damn difficult. It should feel like you're struggling to hold that position. If you're not struggling to hold that position, you're not getting that much benefit out of it. The other mistake I would say is not applying the right isometric to the training goal. So if you're going to do longer yielding isometrics for 30 seconds, that's great. That's great if you want to work on tendon health. That's great if you want to work on local muscular endurance. It's not great if your goal is to maximize hypertrophy. If you want to do overcoming isometrics, that's great for maximizing your force output. That's great for maximizing your motor unit recruitment, but it's not really going to stimulate much hypertrophy. So probably don't want to use that as your main hypertrophy exercise. So just make sure that you guys are paying attention to the intent of your workouts, the intent of the exercises that you're selecting, and your overall training goal, and make sure that those things match up so that way you can get the best results possible. And then the last mistake that I see people make with isometrics is that they just have poor body positioning. They get into these positions where they're kind of ingraining, I don't want to say bad posture, but just bad positions where, they do an overcoming isometric deadlift and they just completely hang their spine out and they look like a fishing pole. That is not great. You don't want to put maximum amount of force hanging your spine out like a fishing pole. Make sure that you're following the exact same, I don't want to say rules, but bringing the exact same focus and intent to maintain as perfect form as possible, just like you would for your max effort and dynamic effort work. Do that with your isometrics. If you feel that you're doing yielding isometrics with a certain weight and your form starts to break down, you should probably lower the weight a little bit. If you find that you're getting into some of these positions and you're having a lot of form breakdown doing extreme isos or doing overcoming isometrics, take a break from the set, rest a little bit, go back to it, and really make sure you're locking yourself in the right position to really build strength in those proper positions.